Hi, guys. Welcome back to Subto Shauna. This is the way, episode 41. Today, I have George Paredes to the show. Did I say that right?
Pretty good, yeah, Paredes.
George is a Subto community member. He's CEO of a real estate company called Optimistic Glee, and they help agents and investors and sellers solve problems every day. Welcome, George.
Well, thank you, Shayna, for that introduction. It feels good to be here, and like I said, getting to know you a little better at the same time as possibly anybody out there that's wanting to know me as well. So thank you,
Yeah, thank you for coming on the show.
thank
So
you.
tell us a little bit about how you found Sub 2 and what made you feel like it was the right choice for you.
Great question. I had actually joined another mentorship, and through the mentorship that I had, I kind of felt like there was a lack of handholding. But luckily, they did give me advice to go out networking. So eventually, I think I ran into certain people in the Subto community, and actually, no, I think it was on Facebook, which I don't know if you're familiar with JJ from
Yeah,
Subto.
JJ Azizan.
Azizan.
Yes.
Yes, I
He's
would. I would listen to his podcast. I believe he had a interview on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and
awesome.
so I would log in and kind of check out and meet other people. And kind of, Shayna, I think what it is I love about those Zooms because they remind me of when I was in school, and they would have me sitting next to you, and the next day they'll have me sitting next to Jeff, next to Todd, and every day is like, George, just sit outside. To on the Zoom, they encourage that to be on the side, like making little jokes, and then you
Yeah.
kind of figure out like, hey, that's an '80s reference. How old is this guy? I think I can like him, and then it's having those side conversations and getting to know people and meeting some sub two guys and being intrigued into it, and obviously getting connected more in the Houston area to where a lot of those events were opening to anybody. You didn't have to be in sub two, so that's how I got kind of introduced to the community.
Yeah, I love that about the community, how the community always like networks with other people and we don't close anybody off. We're very
Yes.
welcoming, We'll do deals with other people even when they're not in the community and so forth. So, that's awesome. So, what are your passions and areas inside of real estate and sub 2? So,
Um,
like, what kind of exit strategies do you usually focus on? And like, what kind of properties do you try to help agents and investors and sellers with?
God, yeah. Right now I've been at this for about 3 years, Shayna. So I'm barely learning how to establish that quote unquote that wholesale pipeline of learning, I guess, through the hardship of cold calling, being a lead manager, and then eventually becoming a closer to where it is kind of like you're saying, trying to partner with other people, kind of learning by joining other
Mhm.
teams and kind of seeing what works and what doesn't, and at the same time creating my own thing. So right now, I would primarily specialize in trying to go into the county records and getting foreclosures and getting a
Oh,
small team to either help me cold call them, but at the same time door knock them. So it is kind of like a work in progress right now. It's gathering those people that really want to either help me, but knowing that at the same time is learning to be that leader by example and not just by dictatorship. Hey, you do this, you do this, you do this. Hey, let's all cold call or let's all go door knocking, stuff like that.
right. So if any of our guests listening have a property or know someone that needs help with the pre-foreclosure and are in the pre-foreclosure process, which there are a lot of right now, a lot more than you
Yes.
realize with, the way everything the affordability of everything has just been crazy. But if you or someone you know is in the pre-foreclosure process, reach out to George, links in the description, and he and his team will be able to help you with that,
Thank you,
whether you're
Shannon.
an agent, an investor, or the homeowner that's going through it.
All right.
There's people like us out there to help you guys.
There is. And actually, Shannon, before the show, I was telling you how, like, I primarily, that is my main source. How I haven't really had luck directly speaking with these sellers and getting them to I guess not getting them to do anything, but more like understand where they're at in the process and
Mhm.
try to drop that guard down to where, I don't want your property. I just want to understand where you're at in the process and see if I can help you by not only maybe being able to share my own experience being in that position before, but
Ooh.
allowing getting the knowledge that I am continuously getting through Subto. And the same thing with agents. And but luckily having more luck getting to know the agent and finally understanding that this person is in foreclosure. If they haven't had a traditional offer and within the next 30 days, then it may not make sense to where a cash offer or creative may make sense.
There's two really good important things that I got from what you just said. Number 1, you've been through this yourself personally in your own life, which is really important because you understand, it allows you to understand where the person is at, how they're feeling. And number 2, it kind of puts you in the position of you want to help them.
Yes,
You
true.
want to be, you want to extend the hand that maybe you had. I don't know how that turned out for you, but maybe you had or wish you had.
Yeah, being able to share that, obviously it's not making too much about myself, Shayna, but it is being it to where I can sympathize with you in that sense,
Right.
being
So
in that
that's
boat.
what I was trying to convey. Yeah, that you've been there yourself and that you understand them and you can help them really well.
Right. But
Um,
also knowing you can only help people that want to help themselves. So it is learning that too.
right.
Like I want to help everybody, but then it does come to a point where like, man, Shayna sounds like she don't want my help. I need to walk away. And for some reason, and as you get better at this, Shayna, you learn that sometimes when you walk away from something, they tend to come back.
Yeah, I feel like two things are probably going on when that happens. Number 1, they're just so afraid and not sure that they can trust.
True.
And then the other thing that's going on is, I know there's a name for it, but like when you're under immense stress like that, you just have this like you're frozen with fear and
Hmm.
frozen with uncertainty and just like it's really, I understand it because I have ADHD and sometimes that happens.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, people just don't know what to do and they're not sure they can trust and they just kind of get stuck. But yeah,
Right.
with you being there
And it is
before.
it is like also aside from certain symptoms like HDDD, ADDD. I
88,
already
yeah.
forgot to say it. But it is on that personality too, to where it is being able to understand it, the different personalities that they do teach and stuff too. Is like the red personality, very
Mhm.
direct. They want their answers now, and you got to slow them down. Hey, Shayna, calm down. What is it that you want? I want this. Okay,
Right.
if I can do this for you, what? How can we make this work? And the blue one, blue personality, they're more analytical, so you learn how to share third party stories, maybe your own personal story. And then the green is more like me, where I will be very stoic. Like, how can I get George? Because it seems like George doesn't get bothered by anything. He's about to lose his property next month, and the only thing he brings up is the book of Job and how Job had everything taken away from him, and he got everything back.
So the green has the wall up, right?
Yes,
The
like how would
very
I get him
guarded.
to? Yeah, I can't get no emotions out
Gosh.
of him. And then yellow, it's everybody, all of us. We like to talk. We like to be that chatty
They're
Cathy.
fun. They're motivated by fun.
Yeah,
That's
but
me.
not very shiny object. Like, who was that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to keep them in control. But if you think about it, they're like the color wheel. They're exactly the same, but the opposite. Red, they'll scream at you, ah, but then you have to control them. Hey, what is it that you want? Same thing with the yellow. Hey, Shayna, you're talking a lot. I appreciate you, but right now you need to get to work. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. But learning those different things as you're having the conversation, where it is you're getting the first 5 minutes, how can I make myself different from the other people that are probably coming in and just asking to buy their properties? And so
Right.
it's a battle, and also it kind of tests your ego, at least from my experience, of knowing that
So what I'm hearing is you try to help the person first, and then if you can't help them stay in the property or fix their situation, then you can help them by taking the property off their hand, saving their credit, and giving them a fresh start. Am I hearing that correctly?
Pretty much, yes, pretty much.
Awesome. I love that.
Yeah, me too, me
That
too.
that's awesome. So what is your avatar?
Avatar, great question. Right now, whenever I do my little introduction within the Subto community or even on the creative side, it's saying I am a Subto student, a leader, helper, closer, and connector. And out of
Yeah.
those, I think I do a little bit of everything. Being that,
Uh-huh.
being the helper side is being able to say, "Hey, I've cold called. It sucks. I know it sucks, but it's important." Just like being a CEO of your own company, if you don't have a janitor and you're going to take care of your business, you have to clean it yourself or make the money to clean that toilet. And so,
Right.
being able to again go sympathize with how it feels to cold call, how it feels to lead manage, and learn how to advance that conversation to eventually becoming the closer, to where it's like it's not that you're a better closer, you're just talking to a motivated lead. You're not pulling teeth. They are aware of their
Mhm.
situation and they're aware of the help that you can give them. They just want to make sure every the steps and is guiding them to where they need to get to.
So I remember the first time we talked, I was telling you about Daniel Quijano. Do you
Yes,
remember?
I
Did
remember.
you ever get to go in the nightly dial?
Not
Oh,
yet,
I
not
don't see
yet.
it on the calendar anymore. I don't know if it's gone or what.
Oh man, I gotta look for him in the vault then. I'm sure he's deep in the
Yes.
vault.
Yes, he's so good. But he also has a coaching program called Closers Collective. You
Hmm.
don't have to be in sub 2.
Nice.
He's very good about understanding the people, and that's what he teaches.
Got it.
Just it just reminded me of what you were saying because that's what I'm hearing you do well.
Yeah. It's learning. Yeah, I think it's like I'm sure Daniel can do is controlling your emotions, but being able to pick up on those things and be very good at actively listening. Because at the end of the
Yeah.
day, that's what we want. We want to talk about ourselves. So it's being able to hear that person out, understand what it is that they want, and see if we can
Mhm.
be their guide and take them there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, what's been your biggest struggle since
Uh,
you got in sub 2 and like how did you overcome it or is it still a work in progress?
A work in progress of creating that consistency, Shayna. It is being able, like I said, sometimes maybe I have ADD as well, of shiny object. I want to help everybody, but sometimes the person, all they're doing is taking that information, but also remembering what Pace teaches us, and I'm pretty sure other people. It is giving, 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 and eventually it's going to come back and not making by yourself. But at the same time, I think I recognize the reward, Shayna, because if I'm able to explain creative finance into a real estate broker and they take it and then I see them post a deal online, I'm like, hey, wait up, mofo, what about me? But then I look at it, that either means I know what I'm talking about. So I should take that in return, like, okay, because I am repeating what I'm learning and I'm able to reciprocate or explain it. And so I do know what I'm talking about. So it is maybe being more concentrating on what's going to bring me to the next level of creating that consistency within my own business.
Yeah. Okay. I like that.
Thank you. Thank
Um, are you looking to JV with people, or are you looking for anyone to join your team?
Actually, yeah, I'm always open to JVing, and that's part of what I guess I'm distracted. I'm always looking at stuff too. I'm always looking at the creative group when someone says, "I need help in Houston," then I usually DM, "Hey, when you say help, what do you mean?" And then it's seeing if we can come up with something, but also learning on the connector avatar. It is being to the point, setting those expectations, saying, "Hey, Shayna, my name is George. I see you need some help. You're in Houston. I can help you, but as long as you don't mind if I get paid." To where right there you can tell me to either the buzz off or yes, I'm willing to partner up with you. That means I can stop what I'm doing over here because more than likely the deal I'm working with you is going to get me paid quicker.
Right. So when you do these, when you help these people in pre-foreclosure or even the foreclosure process, do you do mostly phone calls or do you actually go and visit the property, knock on the door and talk to them there?
Mostly cold calling and through the phone, which is obviously only one way. And so it is right now. I do have one of my guys, his name's Emilio from Subto as well. And we're trying to work out that part where it is, I wouldn't say it's a struggle, but it goes back to learning the personalities of how can we all work together and to get to that one goal. And it is, he's helping me at the same time. I'm trying to cold call these individuals. He's trying to door knock, and then we're kind of keeping each other in the loop of what's going on. Hey, George, I'm going to visit this person for the second time. Second time, what do you think I should do? And then kind of create that game plan.
Okay, so you're doing both. You're doing
Yes,
Are you calling different properties than he is visiting, or are they the
the same
same?
ones, the same
Okay.
ones. And what he's doing, and this might be a tip, but I haven't perfected it yet. A lot of times, Shayna, for foreclosures, these people know that we're calling them. So what they'll do, sometimes they'll switch out phone numbers to where even I'm cold calling the most accurate list that month. They change all the numbers because they're like, man, I'm tired of all these people calling me. So
Oh, so they
sometimes,
get a new phone number?
yeah. But because of my partner's door knocking, and he's leaving a notice, and the notice has a number to my CRM. Now I'm gonna get that inbound call and say, "Hey, who's knocking on my door?" You know, the surfer guy is knocking on my door. Oh, that's my partner Emilio.
Surfer guy.
Yeah, yeah. If you ever meet him, you'll get that analogy, like, oh yeah, he's kind of got this California. Yeah, bro, let's go. And like, but yeah, being that they're gonna call me, and I'm saying, yeah, we're just a group of volunteers reaching out to people who may be going through a tough time with their house, and just seeing if we can offer you anything. And by there, it's
Right.
kind of seeing how far you can get in that conversation. Where, oh, we took care of it. May I ask how you took care of it? That way I can possibly help out the next person, because we primarily do this once a month. I mean, yeah, throughout the months and throughout the years. But yeah, and just seeing where we can go from there. And obviously, if they got help, then is asking them for their phone number, not their phone number, but their name and their address, so then we can update our notes and maybe move them into another column of a follow up.
Yeah. Do you ever say anything like, if you ever change your mind, or if something doesn't work out with what you have it covered with right now, please feel free to reach back out to us and
Mm-hmm.
do
I
you
guess I may not say that directly, but I do have, and that's when I say I move into a column in my CRM, Shane, because there's a column called saved home column, to where it's calling them once a month and say, hey, how you doing, Shayna? This is George. I believe we spoke a couple months ago. You're going through the
Mhm.
loan mod. How's that going for you? How's the family? How's everything? And then learning how to make it more about the person and less about the property.
Right.
So in case
Yeah.
they do need something down the line, they make things change, because I have seen that before, where this person went through a loan mod, but because my partner was able to keep the communication that way, she ended up wanting to sell, because she told the guy, "Hey, Mark, I thought my kids were going to help me with this, and the loan mod, it wasn't really what I thought. Do you still want to buy my property?" But
Mhm.
because he had that real close connection, he ended up getting that deal and ended up being one of his first rentals.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's awesome.
Mhm.
So, with the people on your team, like Emilio, and you said you're always looking for other people to join your team or to JV with. What kind of positions are you looking for? Are you looking for more people to make phone calls, or do you need a TC on your team, or do you need like operations manager or
I think I've been hanging around with Jesse, and I've been getting. I'm part of a little group. I guess we're getting together on certain days of the week of learning how to get that operation manager, which does make sense.
Mhm.
But yeah, I would say eventually that person, or maybe people that are maybe brand new and they just want to get the reps in. Where I kind of use the analogy, hey, it's a pool full of mud. I think there's a diamond in here, because before I had my dialer, I was just throwing leads into my CRM. But if you're willing to help me put in 2 to 3 hours of just calling, seeing if they answer, then obviously if you're in sub two, you can use what you're learning and practice, and feel free to fail. Don't worry about being so perfect. And
Right.
obviously, I'm here for you as well, to where if you need any help, because I'm learning, you can watch all these videos all day, but until you actually put in the reps, you can't really understand where you need to get to next. So it's learning how to overcome those objections, or learning how to, revert the question to them. Oh,
I
did you?
love that analogy. I got
Yeah,
a pool full of mud, and I'm pretty sure there's a diamond in here.
yeah. Let's share the wealth. But it is because obviously not everybody. And I can go back to why I was cold calling, because it was a time when I was going through foreclosure. I'm like, crap, I can't afford the CRM. I can't afford this. Then I remember going on Subto, hey guys, I think I'm pretty good on the phone. I would love to join somebody's team. And so the one guy that actually he was outside of Subto, he let me in his team, but then he threw me in a dialer like, oh man, like, oh well, I gotta do what I gotta do and going through the different things. But it helped me build a pretty tough skin, because obviously we're calling them, so that's more outbound outreach, which is harder. Eventually, we want to get to a level where now we're getting inbound calls. George, I am a forecloser. I am not emotionally attached to this property. I understand that I'm not going to get the amount I want, but I know you could probably give me something. What can you give me? Then okay, cool. Let's get to work.
Right, right.
Hmm.
Um, do you have any advice for someone just starting out in sub 2? Join your
Probably.
team, right?
Yeah, join my team or join a team, and obviously just go in there with a open mind, and knowing that this is not easy. Because I like to share with people the work that I'm doing now. Almost the end of October will determine what you're probably gonna get next month, because it is 30 to 45 day intervals with these deals that come on.
Yeah.
And just like I shared with you earlier this week, I'm supposed to close 3 deals, but one seller is backing out because we weren't able to execute at the right time. But it was a pretty hard situation to overcome, and that's the part that sucks. But the goal is to, it's a numbers game. Put as many properties on the contract, but do it the right way. Don't just put a contract. Don't put a property under a contract just to put it under. Make sure you're understanding that this is the solution that's going to help them solve their problem.
Right, because if you're just putting contracts just to get under contract, the deal might not even close,
Yes,
and, you wanna make sure that everybody comes out in a win-win situation too, so not doing it right can cause issues and
right,
problems. But yeah, that's we learn that, when we become realtors is, the work that you're doing now is what you will reap the rewards from 30 to 60 days from now, right?
right.
So that's where the whole idea of a pipeline comes from. Not really explain this to you. I'm kind of explaining this to any viewers that
Oh, I love it. I'm always learning.
yeah.
I might pick up on something I missed. Like, oh, yeah, that's a good one, Shayna.
Right. Do you have a podcast or a coaching program that you like?
No coaching program yet. I guess in the process of JVing with other students. Obviously, when you're speaking and they're like quiet and they're like, "What are you doing?" "Oh, I'm taking notes." Like, "Oh, okay." And so using that method of possibly coaching at the same time, but getting, I guess, my reward back by possibly JVing with them, by sharing what I'm learning, what I see within that deal, and how we can possibly make it into a deal. But as far as my podcast, I am using my YouTube page. It's not as snazzy as yours is,
Ah,
but it is kind of doing the
oh,
same
come
thing and
on.
just bringing different people in, getting to know them at the same time, and hopefully when we get to that level of pace, like, let me watch when George first started. I don't believe that. I was like, well, the proof's in the pudding.
Right.
But being
So
able
I
to
mean,
highlight other people at the same time.
yeah, I mean, I can give you tips on that later if you like. I mean, I'm
Thank
not
you.
like the best, but how I got my start was when Pace, I don't know how long you've been in sub 2. How long have you been in?
2 years.
Oh, that's right. You did tell me that. Okay. So you've been in longer than me, but remember when he started that project forward?
Same.
That's when I started my podcast, but he kind of had to put everything on pause.
Yeah.
So I got the beginnings, I got, the help in the beginning, getting it
Hmm.
started, and then I just kind of kept going from
You
there.
did a great job. You're doing a great job. I
Well,
like
thank you. I'm a little artsy fartsy, but
hey, now you know your superpowers, and that's the thing when it is the beauty of real estate, because there's so many avenues, and it's figuring out where you can use your skills at best. Or I got this from a book, Shane, that's learning to use your birthday gifts, your God given
oh,
abilities, and learn how to eventually monetize off of it. But because you're providing a service, obviously you're gonna know what your value is eventually once you've owned in on it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
When did you start your podcast? How long have you had it?
About the same time as you, whenever he told us, "Hey, you got to do this," and I
Okay.
started it, but
It's really hard
yeah,
because a lot of people that have these big name podcasts, that's all
mhm,
they do.
yes,
They focus on the podcast. You know what I mean? And it's like, so we got the podcast, but then we also got the real estate going. I have another podcast that I just
wow,
started besides this. I got the TC thing that I just kind of launched. So, it's like we got all these other things going on too.
right.
And it's just, I think I'm getting to the point where I really need to hire some help if I'm going to keep going. Cause
Hey,
yeah,
but
I
that's a
mean,
good thing. Is learning that that's a good problem to have because you have a lot of activities. Like, whoa, well, let me learn the stuff that we are learning from people like Jesse of annotating everything that we're doing, and what is something that I don't really like that I can probably offset to somebody else that may like it, or hire a VA for those
yeah.
projects.
It's really hard to hire somebody at first. I mean, Pace talks about this all the time because especially if you're like have visionary tendencies like you or I, we want to do
Mhm.
everything ourselves. We want it done a certain way. We got to do it ourselves. We want this, and to get over that, that's a hurdle that you
True.
have to do. And any business owner, you have to get over that hurdle of making your first initial hire. And then once, you know, and then too, there's the whole training people, which puts more time on your schedule, and it's like,
But I guess for you, like obviously, if you're spending more time training on the TC side, it may be more beneficial because that's where your area of expertise is compared to cold calling. You're like, well, I don't really mess with that. I like to have the details and put them together. And obviously, when I am calling the seller, they know who I am. They're not expecting a cold call, and but you know
yeah.
exactly what you need from them compared to like, hey, how you doing, Shayna? I know this call is out of the blue. Like, click. Oh man. Next one.
I think I could be good at calling. My big thing that I have a issue dealing with, and I know it's a mindset thing or
Mhm.
whatever in some sort of way, but I just have a really hard time with dealing with angry people.
Well, what about is that you think
I'm not afraid to talk to people. I'm very outgoing, but when I get the angry people, I'm just like, can't do it, can't do it. Do you
why
know
do
what
you
I
think that
mean?
is?
What?
Well, why do you think that is?
Um, just too much of it in my life. I guess I get maybe some unprocessed trauma, unreleased
Gotcha.
trauma, and I'm just like, I can't do it. I can't do it. You know what I
Well,
mean?
I can empathize. I won't be able to
Yes.
sympathize, but yeah, but we do have certain hidden drama where I could probably share mine is not feeling enough, and that's something that I was able to learn within Subto and other people saying, George, you're close. George, you're a closer compared to George, you ain't crap. You ain't never gonna amount to nothing. Like, okay, I'll go ahead and smoke weed and barely do the bare minimum and work this post office job. But realizing as I start getting stronger with my faith and obviously being around the right people, like, oh man, I'm worth so much more. I can do so much, but why can't I give this to other people? And so it is when the angry person
Yeah.
is, hey Shayna, why are you so angry? Well, because you're calling me. Okay, what about this call is bothering you? And kind of being like a psychologist.
Yeah,
But
you gotta be able to separate them being angry and it's not you.
mhm,
But I don't know, I just got this thing where I feel like what you surround yourself with consistently kind of rubs off on you,
true.
and that's my like, I'm just ugh, I don't wanna react the wrong way. I don't want it to rub off on me, and, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure I'll at some point in this
Mhm,
whole real estate investing journey, I'll
mhm,
get over that because I
right.
think that one if I were to get over that, I would really excel at it.
Yeah.
I would be able to really help people and stuff. It's just, I guess, training maybe,
Yeah.
and
Man,
then
training or just being in that moment is like kind of like the with the that famous cold water plunge. Once you get in that moment,
yes!
you have to be used to being in that environment. And it's I like to use a phrase that a lot of people say, and I don't want to go too much on the religious side, but it's like, oh God, why are you putting me through this fire? No, like, hey God, come down here, show me what you're trying to show me in this lesson. Because I'm pretty sure there's something that you're wanting me to see, but I need your help. And that's when boom, he pops up, or he brings
Right.
Shayna, or he brings in Pace. Hey George, what you got there? See right there? If you press that button, like, oh, well, first of all, thank you, God, and boom,
Oh,
that's
press
how
the
it is.
button. Durr.
Brr, yeah. But then now you can share that with somebody else down the line. And that's why I
Mhm,
believe eventually it is putting the people in the right spots. And so where my
mhm.
bottleneck would be is like the learning from Jesse, the people that I don't need to know it all, but at least I can put the people in the right spots and they can help me create these SOPs and provide these trainings to
That's
where
SOP, guys, not SOB, okay?
SOP, yeah, no stone cold.
Gotta put it there.
Yeah. But
The
it is
SOP stands for standard operating procedure, in case you're
yes,
wondering.
yes. Yeah. And so yeah,
Yeah, I just
it's
had to
about being
clarify because we were talking about angry people, you know what I mean?
yeah, oh no, that's so busy. But they have a right to be angry, just like you may be angry, but I don't notice that there could be something poking you in the back and you don't want to say
Right,
anything. Like, what's bothering you, Shayna? You know
right.
what?
Well, I'm sitting on the thorn that you can't see,
Yeah,
right.
why don't you just get up? Wow, George, thank you. And nobody's ever listened to me. And that's the thing. Anger comes from, it's somebody not being able to understand you. Hence why you had the red sellers, like understanding, okay, you're getting
Mhm.
10 calls from myself and all these other people, but I know why. Because you're on this list and I can relate to you because I was on the same list at one time.
Oh, see that is so golden. That
Hmm.
just really it's good for on both sides that you've been in that situation
Hmm.
before. It's good for you because you understand them. It's good for them because they feel like they can trust you and they know somebody that else that knows exactly where they're at, you know?
Right. And the same thing with agents when it does come to asking these questions. Why are you asking all these questions? Like, well, I need to ask these questions because I don't think a cash offer works. Because from what I understand, you just barely bought this property 2 years ago. So you may not have enough equity. So even if you could sell on the market, you'd probably have to come up with a check, right? Yes.
Mhm.
Well, what if I can come up with another opportunity or another option that may make sense? We used it before, but it doesn't work for everybody. And then if they say
Right.
no, you say, why? Oh, well, have you ever done creative finance, Shane? I would love to teach you.
Mhm.
Or I can share a scenario where it worked out perfect for this couple that they had to go to Hungary. They couldn't sell on the market because somebody in their family was sick. So they're open to, selling their property subject to, as long as we could give them $5,000 so they can get help to make that trip and be with family. And right now
Right. Third
it's a cash
party
flow rental.
three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
gotta allow you to say that too. They'll cut you off. No, I don't want to hear it. Like, okay, well, no problem. Well, you have a nice day. If anything changes, I'll be here, and maybe I'll call you next week to see how it's going. And then you learning how to drop those seeds. What was that creative crap you said last week? I think my feelings may be
Right.
open. And so yeah, it's learning
Oh,
that.
that's
I think
really
that
good
that is
point.
my skill, and the same thing with closing other people because it is Shayna. These networking events, getting to know that person on a personal level where it may take me a lot longer, but because I created such a great relationship with that person, there'll be certain scenarios where, like George, I cold call this person, I lead manage them, and I close them. I just need a buyer. Cool, man. I just got done talking to so and so, and boom, and go 50-50. Wow, I got a deal out of that. It doesn't happen all the time, but that's why I think being a connector is a good skill as well. To eventually now I'm gonna learn how to bring the capital in front of the right operator and then be the middleman as well. But because I created the relationship with both people, they're probably gonna have a lot more trust. And that's where a lot of people kind of fail when it comes to speaking with these sellers or agents. They don't know who the HV are and vice versa. So it's getting to know them, how long you've been an agent, how long have you been doing this? Are you a part-time agent? Are you full-time? And you're getting to know that person, and then more than likely they'll go above and beyond for you.
Yeah, and that's, building relationships with agents is the best because that agent can help you help so many more sellers. And
Yes.
that agent can do way more business with you can do an agent can do business with investors on a continuous basis, like every month,
Yes.
whereas people who are selling or buying their home, it's usually a average 7 to 10 years, once every 7 to 10 years.
Exactly. Third
But
party story right
agents out
there.
there, you can give another option and help solve your client's problems
Hmm.
by letting us come in and help both of you, the agents and the sellers, right?
Yes, ma'am. You got it down, Pat. This is the
Oh,
way.
yes, this is the way.
And
So, to get a hold of George, all these links right here will also be in the description box below. Um, so tell us about all your ways to get a hold of you.
I was like you just stated, IG is the best one I think I like.
That's the one you're
You
on the most.
That's the one I'm on the most because I learned how I can share that reel, and that reel I can turn into a story. But because that reel is open to anybody, it's you're gonna get more eyes on you and being able to share what I'm learning. Because a lot of times we want to share all the wins, but sometimes we forget to share the losses, or
Yeah.
showing that just growing a person that just answered the phone and screaming at you, and you just, hey, what's the point of me screaming back? I'd let him vent. This is the part of the process that three, but you don't know that maybe the third call down the line when I do follow up, he talks to me calmly, finally, like, listen, my mom passed away. I took care of the foreclosure, and everything's good. All right, sir. I'll take you off the list, and I appreciate you sharing that with me. And last but not least, my condolences on your mother. And if anything does change, let me know. And then
Excuse me.
yeah,
I'm
but
sorry.
it took that third call for him to
Right.
oh, George, this is what's going on.
He had to blow off steam. Yeah.
Yes,
Sometimes they just need somebody to listen in the beginning, and then you can get down to the real issue and how you can actually help them.
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, and IG is the best way, and like say, and then obviously it goes to your Facebook, so you get the best of both worlds, and kind of it's eliminating a little bit of that time, you
Mhm.
know. And
Yeah.
obviously, what you're gonna teach me now with the thumbnails and the cutting the reels to where it is, I can give you 45 minutes of me underwriting. So most people, that's boring. Like, oh, I don't want to. That's boring. But if you're actually underwriting, you may want it, but because you're able to cut in shorts, like you're gonna teach me, you're kind of giving a little bit of tidbit. Like, oh man, I really want to watch the whole thing. So let me go to this other channel, YouTube, and watch the whole thing.
Maybe I can even trade you if you need it. You can underwrite some deals for me, and I can do some thumbnails and shorts and stuff like that for you.
Yeah, let's do it. Obviously, it's something I've been learning lately, just to add that TC to the mix, like Jesse teaching us to delegate, and knowing that I've done TC work myself. Not say I like to do it, but it's kind of being that scarcity mindset. We're
Yeah.
learning how to go through a probate or learn how to get those affidavits of heirship. But because the seller's so open to working together, they're actually helping you with a lot of that legwork as well. But obviously,
Yeah.
I'd rather give it to somebody like you so I can go back to potentially closing more deals or bringing in more lead managers and hopefully getting the right person that can fit my core values and also the goal that I'm trying to achieve.
Yeah. So, from what I'm hearing, you don't actually have a TC on your team yet, correct?
Not a direct one. The first time actually, I think I'm around like deal 21 or 22, and out of most of the deals,
Nice.
they've been cash, and I only use the TC on two of them. And although like five of them were creative though, not say I'm bragging about it, but saying it is learning that I could have been, given that function to somebody else, because it goes back to also trusting too and learning. Do we really match? Can we dance together? Does Shayna understand me
Mhm.
when I just give her this and this is all she needs, but or she needs more? Let me know what she needs so I can make your job easier as well.
Yes. And what I love about this community so much is there you still need to vet people, you still need to get to know
Yes.
people, but there's an extra layer of security and trust inside the community, not only to know how to do things right, but also, because there's such like a positive vibe in here. I
Yes.
mean, it's promoted in the community, the positive vibe. And we all share information freely, we all help each other freely, and it's unbeatable. There's nothing like it in anything, let alone real estate.
Yeah, like Pace says, it's not a mentorship, it's a community, and
It's
it
a
is obviously
community, right? I don't
aligning
think
yourself
people
with the right,
understand. I
not
don't
necessarily
The
you're
way
in it.
that we all define community is not how most of the world defines community.
Right. But also being learning how to like take away that pride and just asking for the help, which is something I struggled with when I first started. But it is not just posting once because your post is gonna get lost. Hey, I need help.
Mhm.
Oh, nobody's helping me. Like, how
That's
many
why I
times do
love
you post?
YouTube. That search engine, you can pop up over and over and over
Yeah,
again, but, like, on Facebook and stuff, it's good for Facebook, lots of stuff happens on Facebook and Instagram, but it gets buried over
yeah,
time, the more yeah.
yeah, yep. But sounds good, Shayna. Yeah, like I said, the links, I appreciate you having on there, and like I said, I'm more than happy to JV. And if anybody wants to give me a shot, tryout within the, because I know that lead manager role is not the glorified one. Everybody wants to be the closer, but there's so many steps that deal needs to go through in order to get closed.
Yeah, the
So that's
closer
the
is tough. Yeah, there's lots of moving parts behind. The closer is like the icing on the cake, but you still need the eggs, the milk, the flour,
you need to warm it up, before or let it cool down. Get the four pillars.
Exactly.
What's the real motivation? What have they tried to do to take care of their foreclosure by themselves? And
Right.
are they realistic with their numbers? Because I think we got the numbers. And
Right.
and like I said, putting it all together,
Yeah.
handing it over to you. Hey, Shane, help me out. I got everything for you. Let's get this done
Right.
and let's get it
That's
disposed.
how Molly it describes what a TC does. It's like you guys are the surgeon
Mm,
and we come in, we set everything up, we, make sure you have everything that you need, we make sure all the communication's there, blah, blah, blah.
yeah.
You just come in, do the operation and leave, and then we take that and we, clean everything up, get it. Yeah, that's like, or like the server to the restaurant, or you guys are the chef and we're the server or waitress, whatever.
Yeah, or maybe the hostess in a way.
Or
Hostess on both sides.
yeah.
Let me take you to your table. Here, let me
Right.
tell your
Let me
waiter will
take
be
you
here
to your
shortly.
table and be your waitress. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And whenever the table's empty, that's when you come in and kind of just wipe it down. But yeah, in a way, it's but more on the back end as being the hostess.
Yes, yes. So I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. And anyone who wants to get a hold of George, all the links are in the description. You can also go on his website if you need someone to help you with your foreclosure, or if you're an investor that would like to JV or do deals, everything. So
Thank you.
thank you so much, George. Hang back after the show and thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Shayna.
Okay. See you later, guys. Bye.